Hey guys, welcome back to 1776 or Bust. So on the table you see the H&K VP9. Now I've been looking for night sights for this thing for quite a while, and I was actually waiting because I had spoken to somebody over at Trijicon and I had asked them about their sights because I've never owned a set of them. I've owned everything from XS Big Dots to TFX Pros to, basically manufacturer sights. And I've never really ever, kind of talked about the idea of ever owning these, only because from my perspective, I didn't really ever want to spend, a lot of money necessarily. For example, the TFX Pros I can find for about 112 bucks. XS Big Dots you can actually find for 100 bucks. Ameriglows even cheaper than that. So I always said to myself, for me, there was no reason to actually get Trijicons. Now, of course, after talking to my friend Big Johnson, he convinced me that I should definitely try them out because he did get them for his PPQ. I'm not going to lie, I'm slightly jealous about that. But I went ahead and I said, why not? Let me just give it a try. Let me call up Trijicon. Let me see if they'd be willing to send me some sites. And amazingly enough, they said yes, which I was shocked. I'm not going to lie. Totally shocked by that. So I waited for it. It took a little time to get it because they had run out of the supply of the sites. So I waited, and eventually they got here. And I have to tell you, I had the gunsmith put them on. And these are some really amazing sights. And I'm not saying that because they sent them to me to evaluate and also obviously to do a review of them. I'm saying that because I really, really believe it. Now, I'm going to tell you why, first of all. For me personally, I'm a right-handed shooter, but I'm left-eye dominant. So for me, it's a little bit of an annoyance to try to get a good, clear picture or a sight picture on my firearm. So I do obviously enjoy simpler setups, especially in the I-dot fashion or even the XS Big Dot fashion, because for me, it's just simpler to line them up. However, I'm not against using the 3-dot system. I have TFX Pros on a lot of my handguns, and of course, other Ameriglows that are not the I-dot setups. And I have to tell you guys that when I first got these, I was extremely excited because the first thing I noticed is just how sleek they really look. I mean, first of all, you got a pretty decent sight picture on the front post. It does lay a little high off the slide, not too ridiculously high, so definitely not anything like a silencer setup or something like that, but it's high enough so it actually gives it a very good sleek profile. Now you can see that the rear sight does have that shelf, so if you do want to do one-handed manipulations, you can. Again, this is a 3-dot sight setup, so you do have the 3 tritium inserts, 2 in the rear, 1 in the front. The rears have been blackened out. The circle around the rear sights are actually painted black so that in daylight they don't really show up. In other words, they don't draw your attention to that rear sight, and what you notice is that the attention directly goes to the front in that orange post. Now, one of the other things I do like about these is that the orange is a high-vis color, and more importantly, it actually does glow. So when you do hit it with some light and you go into a night setting or some sort of dark room, what you're going to find is that this glows extremely bright. And I would tell you, with this setup and with the tritium vial, unbelievably bright, guys. It's just amazing. Now, of course, the tritium vials all have sapphire lens inserts. So you can see there's almost like a, let me see if I can zoom in on that a little bit. But you can see there's almost like a glass filament there. Now that's the sapphire crystal. So what that does is it actually disperses the light out. So you're getting a nice even distribution of light from the tritium inserts. Again, they glow extremely bright, especially in a dark room. Again, front glows, I keep saying grow. The front glows a little bit brighter than the rear. So again, you're able to kind of measure that up very well when you put it up to your eye level. Now, the other thing that sold me on these right away was just the sight picture. The sight picture for me is just extremely clean. Now, what I mean by that is that sometimes when I get a new set of sights, especially being the right-handed, left-eye dominant person, when I come out straight, I actually have to turn my head slightly so that my left eye is lined up correctly. Now, what I've noticed on some sites, it's a little bit more difficult based upon how the front post fits into this rear U-notch. Now, I have TFX Pros. Obviously, they have a U-notch setup as well. But for whatever reason, this U-notch that it has on the back of this rear sight is it's just perfect. And I think the reason why is because if you look at this, you have a little bit of space from the bottom of the base that then goes up. And of course, if you look at TFX Pros, which I'll hold up right here, you'll notice that the TFX Pro, there's not as much room. So as soon as you look at the bottom of the sight, there's your U-notch, and then you have your front sight. So for whatever reason, and it is, again, a very good shooting gun, the sight setup on the TFX Pros are very good, but for whatever reason, to me, this just works better for my eyes. And I can't explain it. I'm just telling you what I'm finding with it. Now, again, I haven't shot the gun yet. I've done some dry firing. done some, some drawing of my gun from a holster just to kind of see how fast I can put that front post on a target or whatever it is that I'm aiming at. And I have to say it's been nothing but excellent. And at this point, guys, these are definitely the best sights I've ever owned. So if you're looking for high quality sights, if you're looking for everything that you need in the sight, whether it's the aluminum inserts that kind of protect the tritium from any kind of harsh banging, or of course any solvents, if you're looking for a sight that gives you a nice finish on the sights itself, so again, you get that kind of that element resistance to the actual sight, so you don't have to worry about that as well. The glow-in-the-dark front sight, the tritium inserts, the sapphire lenses that are put in there. This is absolutely the complete sight. There's absolutely nothing I can say that is wrong with it. The only thing that I don't like about it, and it has nothing to do with the sight, it has to do with the VP9. I can't stand the fact that this VP9 has these little things. Now, I could have taken them out, but it just didn't look right. But other than that, guys, this by far is the best set of night sights that I've ever owned. So again, if you're looking for Trijicons, obviously I definitely highly recommend the HD setup. So if you guys have any comments or questions, feel free to leave them below. Again, if you have a set like this, leave a comment. Let me know what you think of them. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. Again, hopefully you enjoyed the video. Give us a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't. And as always, freedom is never free.